After months of waking up at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling with exhausted body, finally, I slept through the night, without interruptions, without tossing and turning, without that feeling of being trapped in an endless night. It was like being myself again. And no, it wasn't thanks to a pill. Nor was it because something magical happened. It was because of a simple herbal infusion that, for 4 consecutive nights, changed the way I rested. Something natural, with no side effects, that I prepared myself at home. If you also spend whole nights watching the clock, feeling like your mind won't turn off, your body won't give in, and every morning you wake up more tired than when you went to bed, then stay with me. Because today, I want to tell you what worked for me, calmly, in detail, and honestly. This is not a miracle cure. It's something that has helped people sleep better for generations, but today we have forgotten it. Maybe because it's too simple, or because no one profits from it. I had doubts, just like you. I also thought that at my age, bad sleep was part of the package, that it was normal. But the truth is, it's not. Sleeping well shouldn't be a privilege. It should be a natural part of life, even in old age. In this video, I will share my full story. From the hardest nights to the moment I finally felt peace when closing my eyes. I'll tell you what this infusion contains, how to prepare it, why it works, and how you can start tonight. But before continuing, I want to know something. Are you also having trouble sleeping? How long has it been since you rested through a full night? Tell me in the comments how old you are and where you are listening from. I'd love to know if many of us are going through the same thing, because sometimes a small recipe can make a big difference. And maybe today, that difference starts with you. Dark. It wasn't always like this. For almost my entire life, I slept well, head on the pillow, deep sleep in minutes. But suddenly, something changed. I don't know exactly when it started, but I clearly remember the first night I woke up for no apparent reason at 3 in the morning and couldn't fall back asleep. At first, I took it as a coincidence. I told myself it was because I had dinner too late, or because I was thinking about something. But the next night, the same thing happened, and then again, and again, until it became an unwanted habit. I started checking the clock every time I opened my eyes in the middle of the night. 2:20, 3:45, 4:10. Sometimes I would fall asleep for a while, other times not. And the worst part wasn't just being awake, but what was happening inside my head meanwhile. Thoughts coming and going without meaning, small worries growing huge at those hours. Silence, darkness, and inner noise. During the day, my body paid the price. I woke up tired, without energy. Everything felt twice as hard. I became slow, clumsy, forgetful. Sometimes I was in a bad mood for no reason. I no longer wanted to do anything in the afternoons. And worst of all, that feeling of being alive without really being awake. I tried what many try: reading before bed, drinking warm water, changing pillows. I even stopped watching TV at night. Nothing helped. It seemed like my body had forgotten how to sleep well. There was a moment when I gave up. I thought, it must be the age. I told myself I wasn't made to sleep 8 hours straight anymore, that my days would now start at 3 in the morning, that I would have to learn to live like this. But inside, something told me I couldn't give up so easily. Because without sleep, there's no health. Without rest, there's no spirit. And without sleep, life gets grayer. It hurt to admit that something as simple as sleeping had become such a complex problem. That's when, without looking for it, I found a small clue. Something so basic, so common, that I almost dismissed it. But I'll tell you that story in the next part. Tag. When I started suffering from insomnia, the first thing I did was the most common. I made a cup of chamomile tea. My grandmother used to say it was a miracle for calming nerves. I took it on faith, hot, slowly, as if each sip was a promise of rest. That night, Nothing happened. I fell asleep late. I woke up as usual, between 2 and 4 in the morning. And worse, now I also had to get up to go to the bathroom because I had drunk more liquid. But I kept trying. For several days, even switching tea brands. Sometimes it relaxed me a little, yes, but it wasn't enough. I couldn't get that deep sleep that would let me truly disconnect. Then I moved on to something stronger. I went to the doctor and was prescribed sleeping pills. At first, they were a blessing. I slept all night the first 2 times, but after a week, the effect wasn't the same. I needed a higher dose to feel the same. And when I tried to stop taking them, the insomnia came back, more stubborn than before. I began to depend on them, and that scared me. I didn't want to live on drugs. I didn't want to pay the price for artificial rest. So I chose the natural path. I started listening to relaxing music before sleeping, the kind that sounds like rain or forest. I also tried meditating, though I was never good at it. I breathed deeply, closed my eyes, but my mind wouldn't quiet down. Thoughts stayed there, jumping from one side to another, remembering things from the past, imagining problems that didn't exist yet, the opposite of relaxing. I remember one particular night. I woke up exactly at 4 o'clock. I couldn't take it anymore. I got up, went to the kitchen, and made myself a coffee. Yes, coffee at 4 in the morning. I thought, well, I'm not going to sleep anyway. I turned on the light, opened a cookie, and ate before the sun rose. I sat silently by the window, watching the sky lighten. I wasn't sleepy, but I had no energy either. I was just there, waiting for the day to start. And in that moment, I realized it wasn't just about not sleeping. It was feeling like I was aging faster, like my body was wearing out without pause, like every sleepless night took a little more of my spirit, my vitality, my will to go on. I thought maybe there was something more, something that wasn't in a pill or a forced meditation, something older, simpler, more human. And then, a conversation appeared that would change everything. Chang. One day, while waiting in line at the neighborhood bakery, I ran into Teresa, a neighbor I hadn't seen in months. She's always been a calm, serene woman, one of those who walks slowly but with firm steps. I noticed she looked rested, healthy, and I was surprised, because the last time we talked, she was also complaining about insomnia. "You look well, Teresa," I said. "Are you sleeping better?" She smiled as if she had been waiting for someone to ask that. "Yes," she told me. "Finally, but not thanks to pills. It was an infusion my sister made for me. Just plants, nothing else." I must admit I didn't fully believe her. I smiled politely but thought inside, can something so simple really work? I had already tried so many things with no result that another infusion sounded like one of those remedies that only gives hope for one night. "It's not typical chamomile," she clarified. "It's a special blend. 4 plants that together do wonders." I didn't believe it either, but after the 3rd night, I slept like when I was young. I went home with her recipe written on a small piece of paper she carefully folded. I sat looking at it for a few minutes. I read the names again and again. Passion flower, valerian, lemon balm, lavender. They sounded like beautiful, almost poetic names, but I couldn't help thinking they were just dried herbs. Nothing powerful, nothing clinical. Were they really going to help me? I put the paper in a drawer like we do with things we don't want to throw away but don't think we'll use either. 2 days passed. 2 more nights without good sleep. And on the 3rd dawn, after waking up for the 4th time, I got up, turned on the kitchen light, and opened that drawer. I thought, what do I have to lose? I prepared the infusion with what I had at hand. I didn't measure precisely. I just followed what she had told me, as if I was preparing a memory rather than a drink. The smell was soft, relaxing. I sat drinking it slowly, with hope low and my body exhausted. I didn't expect anything. In fact, while drinking it, I was still convinced I would wake up in a few hours. But there was something in that moment, something in the ritual, something in the silence surrounding everything. I finished the cup, turned off the light, and went to bed. That night, I drank it for the first time, unaware that something was about to change. Ugh. That infusion I started wasn't just any mixture. It wasn't a single miraculous ingredient, but the combination of 4 plants that, together, created a deep and natural effect on body and mind. It was as if each one contributed a piece fitting perfectly into the puzzle of rest. First, passion flower. Also known as the passion flower has been used for centuries to treat insomnia, anxiety, and mental agitation. What makes it special is its ability to reduce nervous system hyperactivity without causing forced drowsiness. That is, it doesn't make you groggy, but calms your mind so sleep comes naturally. Some studies show that passion flower increases levels of gamma-aminobutyric acid in the brain, a substance that helps reduce excessive neuronal activity. Simply put, it turns off mental noise. Second, valerian. Valerian is probably the best-known plant for inducing sleep. It has a mild but effective sedative effect. Unlike some sleeping medications, it doesn't cause dependency or leave you feeling heavy the next day. Its power lies in essential oils that act directly on the central nervous system, helping reduce the time it takes to fall asleep and improving deep sleep quality. It's like telling the body, you can relax now, everything is fine. Third, lemon balm. Lemon balm is a plant that not only helps with sleep, but also relieves anxiety, improves mood, and reduces muscle tension. It has a mild aroma and pleasant taste, which makes this infusion a relaxing experience from the first sip. It's especially useful if your insomnia is related to worries or repetitive thoughts, as it acts as an emotional calmant. Many herbalists recommend it for stress or chronic sadness. Fourth, lavender. Lavender is much more than a scent for perfumes or soaps. When consumed as an infusion, its relaxing properties activate naturally. It helps lower blood pressure, relax muscles, and promotes a general feeling of calm. Also, its fragrance has a direct effect on the limbic system, the part of the brain that regulates emotions. Inhaling its aroma while drinking prepares your body for rest. When these 4 plants combine, their effects don't just add up, they multiply. While one relaxes the mind, another eases body tension. While one calms the nervous system, another lifts the mood. It's a natural symphony that doesn't force sleep, but kindly invites it. An important warning. Although these plants are natural and generally safe, caution is necessary. If you are taking sleeping pills, anxiolytics, or any psychiatric treatment, you should not combine this infusion without consulting your doctor first. Some herbs can enhance the effects of certain medications and cause unwanted reactions. It's also important to start with a low dose and observe how your body responds. Sleeping well is important, but sleeping well and safely is even more so. In the next part, I will tell you exactly how to prepare this infusion, how much of each plant to use, and the best time to take it so you can get the most benefits. Tank. How to prepare it correctly and when to take it. Necessary ingredients and proportions. To prepare a single cup, which is more than enough per night, you will need 1 teaspoon of dried passion flower, half a teaspoon of valerian, it's very strong so don't use more, 1 teaspoon of dried lemon balm, half a teaspoon of dried lavender flowers. If you don't have all the plants separately, many herbal shops sell ready-made blends for relaxing infusions. Just make sure they contain at least these ingredients. Step-by-step preparation. 1. Heat 1 cup of water without letting it boil hard. When you see the first small bubbles start to form, remove it from the heat. 2. Add all the herbs to a teapot or directly to the cup. You can use a steel infuser or a cloth bag, but you can also add them loose and strain afterward. 3. Pour the hot water over the herbs and cover it. This step is important. By covering it, you prevent the essential oils that hold the relaxing properties from escaping. 4. Let it steep for 8 to 10 minutes, no more. If it steeps too long, the flavor can turn bitter and heavy. 5. Strain the infusion and drink it slowly. No need to sweeten it, but if you want, you can add a little natural honey, which also has calming properties. When to take it? The ideal time to drink this infusion is 30 to 40 minutes before going to bed, not right before turning off the light, because you need to give your body time to absorb its effects. While drinking it, avoid watching TV, using your phone, or having intense conversations. Ideally, create a calm space in your routine. How to create a nightly routine that enhances it? Drinking this infusion should be more than a remedy. It has to become a rest ritual. Just as many need their coffee in the morning to start the day, this cup can be your signal to begin releasing stress and mental activity. Some helpful tips. Turn off the bright lights in the house and leave only a warm lamp on. Avoid screens, news, or social media 1 hour before sleeping. Play soft music, nature sounds, or simply keep silence. Read a calm book or write a few lines in a notebook about how your day felt. Make your bedroom a place of rest. No work, arguments, or electronic devices. Remember this phrase: it's not just the infusion, it's what you do around it that makes the difference. When you turn this moment into a habit, your body starts to understand it's time to rest. And little by little, each night gets better than the last. In the next part, I will tell you what happened in my case after those first 4 nights, and how something so small began to change everything. That first night, after taking the infusion, I didn't expect much. I went to bed as usual, without hopes. But something was different. Although I woke up as usual in the middle of the night, I noticed my body was more relaxed. I didn't feel so tense or have a racing heart. I didn't toss and turn so much. And although I didn't sleep straight through, at least I didn't feel the despair of other nights. It was a first step. The second night was better. I fell asleep faster and woke only once, almost at dawn. When I looked at the clock, I saw I had slept 5 hours straight. It had been months since that happened. I got up with a strange feeling, as if my body was thanking me. It wasn't a magical transformation, but it was a clear improvement. Hope was coming back. On the third night, something inside me began to change. I no longer went to bed tense. I sat calmly drinking my infusion. No rush. I turned off the light without fear of insomnia. I woke only once, just for a moment, and fell back asleep almost without realizing it. My mind was no longer full of scattered thoughts. It was as if my body was starting to remember how to truly sleep. And on the fourth night, what I thought impossible happened. I slept 8 full hours, without interruptions, without checking the clock, without that feeling of having spent the night at war with my head. Upon waking, I stayed silent for a few minutes, eyes open, still. I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. True rest. I don't know if it was just the infusion. Maybe it was also everything I did around it. What I do know is that something worked. And that's why I want to leave you some additional advice that, together with the infusion, can make a difference. 1. Create a sleep routine. Go to bed at the same time every night, even on weekends. The body needs rhythm. When you get it used to it, it starts preparing sleep at the same time every day. 2. Avoid heavy dinners. Very heavy, fatty, or late dinners disrupt digestion and sleep. Try to eat something light at least 2 hours before sleeping. A soup, some rice, cooked fruit, or something mild. 3. No caffeine after noon. Even if you think it doesn't affect you, caffeine can stay in your system for more than 8 hours. This includes not just coffee, but also black tea, chocolate, and some sodas. Sleeping well isn't luck. It's a sum of small decisions. And if you're also fighting to rest like before, believe me, there's a way out. Sometimes it's in the simplest things. Sometimes it's just about listening to your body and letting nature do its part. So, sleeping well again isn't a luxury. It's getting your life back. It's waking up in the morning with awake eyes and a grateful body. It's enjoying small things again, like walking without heaviness, reading without nodding off, or simply having energy to chat. When you don't sleep well, everything else becomes harder. And when you finally do sleep, everything improves, even if nothing else has changed. I lived it myself. I know what it's like to drag the whole day with heavy eyelids and a cloudy mind. I know what it's like to stare at the ceiling in the dark, feeling the hours pass meaningless. That's why, if you're going through that too, I understand you. And I encourage you sincerely to give this infusion a chance. Not just one night, not expecting immediate miracles. Give it 4 nights, 4 honest tries, calmly, patiently, intentionally, and watch how your body responds. Don't resign yourself to bad sleep. Age is not a sentence. It's not true that sleeping little is an inevitable part of getting older. Sometimes, what we need isn't something stronger, but something more natural, something more respectful to our body, something that doesn't force sleep, but invites it to come back. And often, that something is within reach, in plants, in calm, in routine, in silence. Rest is medicine, and often, nature holds the recipe. If you decide to try this infusion, do it with care. Take your time. Don't drink it hurriedly or as another task. Make that moment a ritual. Let your body know it's time to let go. Let your mind understand it no longer needs to be alert. And above all, remind yourself that you deserve to sleep well, because you do. Now I want to ask you something. Do you know any other infusion or natural remedy that has helped you sleep better? Share it below in the comments. Maybe what helped you can help others too. Together we can create a space to share and take care of each other. And if you found this video useful, if you learned something, or simply felt accompanied, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about things that matter to us, without rush, without noise, without judgment. Because your rest matters, and your well-being too.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for listening. I hope tonight you sleep well, truly.